This is Richard back at you. Guys, it's hot in Texas, let me tell you. I think it was 105 yesterday and probably the same today. We got every fan going, every AC going. Cody working on our GMC Cyclone, just about got it in. We got the tranny done, got the transfer case done, got it going. We got a little 406E that we're playing with. And guys, we got a beautiful GT Shelby Mustang in the house. This is one beautiful car, guys. We're going to be looking at the rear end on some gears on it and going to be adjusting the shifter and stuff like that. So it'll be fun playing with that thing. The guys, fan, coolers, they're blowing everywhere. It is very hot. So, but hey, we got a surprise back here for you. Trent, what's it feel like in there?
It was good.
It is good. I'm telling you guys, we keep this build area, tear down area nice and cool. But hey, we got Jack's 72 Chevy pickup that we're going to be working on. Now we're not going to be working on the truck, just the transmission. Now we're going to be rebuilding the 400 tranny, and we're going to be putting a gear vendor overdrive unit on the back of it. Now the gear vendor is about 4 weeks out. We had to call in the gear ratio and the tire size to gear vendor so they can calculate the speedometer in the gear vendor. So when we get it back, our speedometer is right. So that's a good thing right there. But 4 weeks out, that's not bad nowadays, guys, let me tell you. But anyway, we're going to go back through the tranny, put all nice parts in it, clutches, bands, modulator, bushings and all that type stuff. Now you notice we've already got the pump out. Now on these 400s, they make multiple pump thicknesses, pump gear thicknesses. So that's the very first thing. We made a parts order this morning, and we wanted to know what we had going on before we made the parts order to make sure we got the right gears. So this is a 727,000 stick. They make a 6, a 5, a 4, and you want to definitely get that right. So these don't look bad. You can just see with the bluing starting to come off. The converter could have been spaced in a little deeper, definitely. So, but you mainly want to look for wear here on this one side. If you get any type of a lip right here, you know you're starting to get wear right through here. These 400 pump bodies wear right through here really bad in high pressure applications. Now we're not putting a trans brake or anything on this one. We're just going to make it work really nice and put some good clutches in it. Now we're going to go back with a B&I converter, 2000 stall. Now we're still going to go with a 12-inch converter. That way it's even though it's a 2000 stall, it's 12 inches. It has a lot of fluid. It's a big diameter converter. We didn't want to shrink the converter to get that stall because he's going to be towing a small trailer. So we wanted to keep that big 12-inch, have B&I adjust the stall that way it wouldn't overheat and stuff like that. Now this is, he's putting a 454 in it, makes about 400 horsepower, so that's going to be a lot of fun to drive. And it is a 72 model Chevy pickup. Jack, thank you for bringing it to us, definitely. Trent, recording, thank you.
Thanks for the AC.
Yeah, that's nice. Trent and Cody's been out there in the heat, out in the shop. We got every fan going you could imagine. Now you can see this tail has a short bushing in there. Now they make a long bushing that goes all the way to both ends now. So, but we're not going to be putting that back. Now it did have a speedometer reduction type gear system on the speedometer cable. Now we're not going to be going back with that. Gear vendor's going to adjust that all for us. Now we are going to take the speedometer system out and we're going to plug it with like a big freeze plug. So we'll get rid of that. Won't even be there. Now we got this big old dinosaur canister modulator here. Now this is really old school. This is some real 70 model, 72 model stuff here, guys.
Dang dinosaur in its natural habitat.
Yeah.
Oh, that is crazy. It's so adjustable too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And a modulator valve. You're going to see here what our modulator is going to look like that we're going to be putting back on there.
Nice.
Now this is still adjustable. We usually adjust those in one full turn when we put them in the vehicle right off the bat and that usually turns out pretty close. As you can see here. Now, if you ever get one that's got fluid pouring out of here, you shake it like that, fluid comes out, the diaphragm's broke, and the motor will burn it through the exhaust. So, oops. We'll go over here and get our governor out here. You got your speedometer gear here. Can't really see your governor gear down in there. Yeah, they weren't even tight. That's why I don't use the port gasket back. I always go back with some good ATV here, and that way it doesn't ever leak. Clean the gasket off on both surfaces and put some ATV on here, some high temperature stuff, and then you won't have to worry about it leaking. Because that quart gasket, some of them are metal inserted. That's a good gasket, and then some of them ain't. So to me, this is the one that isn't. Some of them you get that have a metal insert in them, they're a good gasket. These here, I don't use them. I always silicone them back on. And we don't have no leaks or anything like that. So now you want to get in here and look at your governor. Make sure the body doesn't move, or the stem here doesn't move on the body. You can grab this and make sure it doesn't wobble or turn right down in here. Always put a new gear on it. Now you notice how your 400 goes to the right? Your 700 goes to the left, so they're not interchangeable. So you clean it up, make sure your valve works and stuff like that. And of course, you can see your new gear and pins and stuff there. Okay, I'll go ahead and pull the valve body off next. Now, we're going to go ahead and put a deep pan on this. It's just going to be a factory deep pan. It'll hold a few more quarts. I have some back there on the shelf. They're original stuff that we took off of cores, but I don't mind helping Jack out that way because it does make a big difference. Not too much gas in the pan for a dinosaur.
No, really? No.
Look at that gasket. That
That's
gasket is a
definitely
1970 gasket, guys.
Definitely.
Look at that. You can put that on a. What do you put? What's them things you put on the wall?
Oh, dang it. Gosh.
I forgot what the heck them things are.
Yes.
You put shirts in them and stuff.
Yeah, come on.
I can't remember.
Somebody hit it up in the comments. I can't think of it right now either.
I can't either. But this is an old gasket right here. There's a little dangerous looking.
I think they're cross-threading that
Yeah,
just a little.
Now we will be changing the stem here for the filter. Suction tube. Now we always go back with 2 O-rings here since this is above the fluid level. The bolt will be different. It'll have a little extension on the bolt. Woo! Tell me that wasn't sucking hard on that filter.
Man, oh man. He was eating it.
Look at that. I bet it's all plugged. Well, it's even gone.
Oh, it's gone.
It's gone. Huh, I wonder where all that went. Probably in there somewhere. Look at that, guys.
Wow. That's a first.
Yeah, that's... Oh, I think that's probably what's... Granny was fixing to start going down anyway, so... Now... Oh, he took this plug off. I forgot he pulled it out.
Oh, yeah.
So, truthfully, I'm not sure exactly what they use this trigger wire here for, unless it's to kick it, take the air conditioner, turn the air conditioner off or something like that when it kicks down the second gear. I mean, or something. That's the only thing I can think of. I really don't know. I've never searched that one out. Whoop. Got all of our 1/2-inch bolts out. Now we're going to take our 7/16. This is what's nice about this one. It hasn't been into or anything like that. you can just kick back and enjoy a nice rebuild instead of just being so stressed out and looking at every little piece and seeing how they destroyed it before you got it. Now you have your governor tubes here. Got your manual valve. The main thing on these guys, your overhaul kit's going to come with 3 gaskets, and you want to get these gaskets right. Now the valve body gasket is the only one that's going to be the single gasket. The gasket that goes under your plate here to your case, that your passenger solenoid covers up, that's the gasket you're going to have 2 of in your kits. So what you're going to do, that's right off the bat, that's what I always do. I go and look for a mark right here, and I'll show you. Now you can see right here these 2 square cuts right here. Okay. Put my gloves off really good. Now if you notice this gasket here, this is the new gasket for the valve body. There's no difference here at all. It's identical. Okay. Now when you get to the case gasket, and how you identify the case is these 2 bolt holes right here that go to your passenger solenoid. They both have it. This gasket does not. It's totally missing. See, right there, totally gone. Okay, so you know that goes there. Now when you come over here and look at this gasket here, it's got the 2 squares. If you look at this one here, it's got the tail. See? So if you put the tail on this tranny is not going to work properly. You've got to go back with this style gasket. Now, if you get a tranny that's been messed up in here, something's been apart, it ain't working right, you don't know what gasket, if it's the right gasket or anything like that, it's real simple to look at this stuff, how it sets in here and how it sets on the case and stuff. So it's really easy to identify.
How crispy they are. The gasket is.
I mean, it's like fragile.
Yeah.
That's some
Not
old
even
stuff.
paper no more.
Been hot that many times, and then it's had to grind the filter up at the same time. Now we do have your passenger solenoid here. It'll come with a little gasket. They do make 2 different styles. This is a hard gasket style, and the later version has a rubber O-ring or a rubber seal around here. So they will interchange. No difference. You got your check ball look here. Here, there. And then you got your 1-year trough. Got your kick down band servo here. Some of them, your kit could come with a metal ring, could come with a Teflon ring. Both of them are interchanged, so. Main thing on this is you don't want to lose this little thing here. That little thing. It slides in this groove. It goes in the cup. The piston goes on. Spring goes in. I like to leave that off, put this in there like that. That way I know I can see that I got it in there, and then I can come in and put that on there. Because it's real easy to drop that down in there, guys. I'm telling you, it is. And you don't even know you did it. So. And we get our reverse servo off here. The kit will come with a new gasket. Got your 3rd gear accumulator. Got your reverse band servo here, an O-ring. This is a square cut ring. So check it for wobbling right here. They wear here really bad sometimes. say your Teflon rings. Some of them will come with metal. Some will come with. I've never tried to put a 480E in here. It could fit, you know, and you could use the rubber rings even so.
Gotcha.
But I know the kit. I have a factory ring kit over here, and then I actually got a high pressure ring kit, and then I got my metal ring kit. See, this come in the overhaul kit. These we order separately and keep them in stock just for certain people and certain trannies. So. And we'll get our center support bolt out. It's a hollow bolt. Now your shift kit, if you put a shift kit in there, it'll come with little seals that you put down in here to seal your support to the case. Right down in here. You can see your band down in here. And then there's another band down in here. So now on your shifter linkage right here, here's that nail that I've been telling you that'll fall right out. See that? If you take your pump out, that nail will come right out of there, right there. You can just pull it right out. Okay. So if you tip it over at the car wash or anything like you're doing at home, you're gonna lose it. Just take and bend it over like that, just a little bit. That way it don't fall out. Good to go. Pretty simple. Oops. Had a gentleman tell me on YouTube how to get my socket off here, put it in reverse and turn it, and it would come off if it ever gets stuck, and I'll be dang it did. I did, I never tried it. So, but on our pump, basically we're going to put 727 gears in it. We're going to put check the boost valve, stuff like that, make sure it's a metal valve, which it is. We're not going to change the spring or anything like that. New bushings, Teflon high pressure rings. And now this thrust washer right here is selective, so we can set our clearances going by different thicknesses here. Pretty simple. Now we always take this out too and clean it. You can put it in a set of pliers like this. Kind of tough to get out. Kind of tough to get in.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes Trent has to help me fight it. But you want to change this seal out in here and make sure this piston is not wore out in the center. Because this is an accumulator piston spring. Now you want to look around here for any type of wear. Stick it in here and see if it wobbles really bad. If it's nice and tight, reuse it. Your kit will come with a metal ring or a Teflon ring here. Metal one's pretty tough to get back in when you try to crunch it with his pliers, or we put it in our compressor, our spring compressor over there we take our pistons and stuff out with. So pretty simple. It's a must. Now you want to look here. This is where your stator bushings run. You want to Scotch-Brite all this stuff up really good. Look at our forward clutches here real quick. Now you can tell them are some original GM clutches there.
Yeah.
Now your forward clutch hub, you want to look at the splines, stuff like that. We're not going to put a billet hub or anything like that. It's hard to break these unless you put a trans brake on them or something like that. So that's why we always change them. Now you're going to have a wave steel in your forward to cushion the engagement. We'll leave that in there. Even though we're putting a 2000 stall in there, if we put a flat one in there, it'd be too much. I mean, it'd be uncomfortable. So, them are some dinosaurs, huh? I've got to find my brass clutches. I've got some FMX solid brass clutches. I mean, they are the coolest things. I got to find them and bring them in a video one time. You're going to go, wow, that's impressive. But they did make solid brass clutches. So.
I've seen them.
Yeah, I don't remember. I got them laying here somewhere.
Yeah,
I got to find them.
Yeah.
I could have put them up because they're so rare. So now we got our engine brake band here. This thing is cooked.
They were using it.
They've been,
Man.
they do a lot of manually shifting with this thing. Being a 72 model truck, I mean, it was back in the day, you know.
Oh yeah.
No telling how many trailers or whatever this thing pulled. You know, the trucks are worth so much money now. You can see here, here's our high reverse clutch here. Now we do have a wave here. Now believe it or not, guys, we're going to put this wave back in third gear too. That way we don't have a harsh reverse. So now we can control the third gear field too by changing the plate size holes and stuff for the feed. But you definitely want to leave this wave back in here. If not, when he puts in reverse, he's not going to like it. He's going to bring it back and be very uncomfortable. So clutch is not too bad either for that type of age. They're still working.
Yeah.
The seals are probably really hard in the drums.
Yeah.
Think it's got a good sprag assembly, or you think it's got a cheapie?
I don't know. If it came out of truck, it might have a good one.
Let's see if it squeaks.
I got
But it'll work.
Yeah, not junk.
No. The thing is, the 34 element sprags and stuff like that, that's drag race stuff. Because we'll never make this truck shift hard enough to break this sprag.
Correct.
So, now we'll upgrade the clutch pack, to a 4 clutch instead of a 3. But you can hear that. It always spins to the right too. Because you put a 34 element, you can't get this one in backwards. But a 34 element sprag, you can put in backwards and you can get it to freewheel to the left. And then you're in big trouble. So, but they always freewheel to the right when you get them back together. That race looks nice, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Scotch bright that up really nice.
Look perfect.
This is these are aluminum right here. They usually wear in the body part of them. Huh? Yeah, so usually the teeth area right through here they wear.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean those are cheap to put in there. Now you want to Scotch bright this up in here really good where your sealing rings run on your center support. And look here, make sure I'll just see if there's any wear. It's just kind of shiny right there. Looks good though. Scotch bright that up. Now you can see your old band was about done.
It was.
It was done. That's really shiny, but truthfully, this drum's got a lot of wear right here and here. I mean, there's a big old lip right there. You can feel it.
Right.
So, for me, these drums are so plentiful since they're not the 34 element style drum. We got tons of them back there. So we'll change this drum out just because of that reason. We don't want to have to adjust this band or anything like that. We just want to have the factory size on the drum. Switch the piston springs over and stuff like that. So. And we have a 3 clutch intermediate with a wave. Like I said, we'll go ahead and update it. We can wipe my gloves off real quick. These can be washed real easy. So we wash them all anyway before we put them in. But we'll use the 480E intermediate clutches and the thin steels. And we'll still go back with our wave. We have to reset all the clearances when we do that, but it can be done. And that extra clutch in second gear, whether it's a race car or not, it's still going to benefit the tranny a ton. So, second gear clutches, man, them some old ones there, let me tell you. Flaking. Look at that date on it. Look, it's not a date, but that marking's even cool.
Mm-hmm. That's why it still has it.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
That's pretty neat. Of course, we have our bevel snap ring. Flat goes in, bevel out. Always put your ends in, not in a gap or in an area. You want to always try to keep them under the case like that. So, and we have a washer here that is selective. We can change this washer right here and set the clearance in the bottom of the support from here back. Real simple. And we have our sealing rings here. Got 4 of them here. We'll change out and put high pressure rings in. We have a bushing here. Big old long one. Now they do make 2 styles on this thing here. The late 4L80E bushing looks just like that, but it is different. So you don't want to make a mistake by accidentally putting one in or something, Somebody mix a kit up or something like that and you put it in there and may not know it. Now you want to check all your bearings, guys, on these races and stuff. We've been getting them in here, and these races have just been hammered. So here's the top race for this bearing right here. It's a three-piece bearing, basically, 2 races. So these bushings here, you always want to check. If these bushings here go out and this bushing goes out, this drum right here rubs. It'll rub right side to side, and it'll wear ruts in here. So this drum physically sets on this shaft right here like this, and that supports it. You figure it's setting like that all the time, turning.
Right.
You know, it's going to try to wear this bushing on the bottom, you'd think. So once that wears and this thing starts wobbling, and then these bushings start wobbling, then you got problems. And that's where we see a lot of times. A lot of it comes in that way, wore out. So pretty simple. So you want to Scotch-Brite this up right here, really good for your roller clutch right here. We have a plastic 4-tab washer here. Now we got all brand new washers over here. We're going to upgrade this thing too. Now you can also put a brass washer for this race right here. Basically sets down in here. Like that. That way you can get rid of that plastic piece. Plus that washer is so much wider, gives it a lot more support in between there. Now you have your oil lube dam here. I like to always keep these in there, guys. It's designed to keep this planetary full of oil. If you take it out, it just sprays it everywhere. It never maintains a full lake inside in here. And that's what it's designed to do, is to maintain it in there. If you take it out, it's just going to squirt out. Sometimes you have to put it in there to get it in there, but there you go, like that. That way it's in here, seals all the way around right here and keeps that lube oil in there. See? Still leaks out, you know, but it has to run in oil all the time. These sun gears here, we changed a ton of them. I mean, it's a 2-hole. They make a 4-hole for a late model 408E rear lube style cooler line. They will not interchange because of the hole size right here. You gotta be real careful. Look on both sides of your gears. Look at your sprag here. Now you notice this sprag doesn't have no legs, but it's weak. That's how weak it is. So we had to put a sprag assembly in here. Once these springs get weak like that, they just fall out. I mean, you can't even get it to load back. So put your new one of them in there. You're going to come in here and look at your gears, make sure they don't wobble, any pin discoloring. We do this too. These pins are about walking on the gears and coming out and eating this plastic washer up. So if any of them are really close to the edge right here, you can take a punch and knock them back in a little bit, and then you can come in here and TIG weld it right here where it don't ever move again. So we do all of ours that way. That way we just eliminate that problem. You know, if you don't have no comebacks that way. Scotch-Brite this up really good. Scarf this up with about some 180 grit so your new band will like it. Brush washer. Pretty. Now we're not going to switch this one over to a roller bearing in the back. Now we'll leave this one a thrust washer style. Like I said, it's not a trans brake, a race car or anything like that, but we will put a new plate and a new washer on here. And we got them over, here's another washer here. I mean, it just get all of our clearances set back and stuff like that. Squeegee go. If I wouldn't have done it, Hayden would have been standing here. Should have grabbed that and, Papa, can I squeegee that for you? I mean, she loves doing that. But the same way here, you got your bearings that got their individual races. They're separate. You want to check these. Now you can also, they make bearings that have a roller in here. So you've got a lot more rolling bearing surface. You want to look at these races, see here?
Yep. Starting to be ate up.
Starting to get ate up, so really common problem now. Same way with this bearing here. Get that one even off. There we go. Same way. You want to look at all these races. You can't really Scotch-Brite these or anything like that. This thing's so hard that it'll never even scratch it. So, but you just replace them. You want to look at your bushing here. Make sure when you put this bushing it is set below surface. If you don't, if you look here at this bearing, the race is sticking out of the bearing right here. So if you stick it down in there with a bushing that's surfaced or flush, it's going to wipe it out right there, and you're not even going to know it did it until it quit working. So, or it won't turn in the back or something. Something's going to happen. Look at your park. This is where your park locks onto. You can see a little bit of wear here, not bad. Probably normal wear for that many years. Same way, look at the pins for any purpling or anything like that. Scotch-Brite, anywhere there's a bushing that's going to run, you want to Scotch-Brite this stuff up. Clean it up really nice. Now we have our really thin snap ring that sets in the case. But like I said, these supports, they make two different thicknesses. So you could go out and get a thick support, leave the snap ring out, and you're good. But if you have a thin support, you want to keep it original, put the thin back in, put your snap ring back in. So, but you can put a thick one in there and leave the snap ring out. And we have our reverse band. It's just about had its days too. So we got a real nice band over there for it. So, okay, well guys, it is hot here in Texas, let me tell you. Really hot. All of the lugs and stuff in the case looks really nice. Nothing broke off. A lot of times you see they'll start breaking off through here. Everything looks good. It's an 8-bolt case. Nice case right there for an ultra valve. But anyway, pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. So we got a little bit of work to do. We'll get the gear vendor unit in here in a couple weeks. Get it, and we'll show y'all kind of how we put that back together and stuff like that in another video. So, guys, it's hot. Y'all go home, eat some cold dinner. How about some hot dinner, Trent? Some cold tea. That sounds better. Y'all don't forget to subscribe, and y'all have a great day.